So it's pretty safe to say that Marvel is a powerhouse in the film industry, a modern juggernaut of the current cinematic landscape. The popularity of the brand is unprecedented, and thus far the longevity is equally impressive. This seems mainly due to expert marketing backed by the world's largest media conglomerate, targeting the most impressionable, therefore incredibly susceptible demographic. That's Disney in a nutshell for you there. Marvel has basically identified the lowest common denominator of human beings, discovered they're the largest demographic of people, and shoved so much content down their throats they'll either starve or choke if they don't swallow. And this has been the status quo for the last decade or so, until 2020.
A SARS-like virus, which has infected hundreds in China, has now reached the United States. Airports around the world are stepping up health screenings on passengers arriving from Wuhan, China.
Despite the never-ending boredom and consistent tepid fear that the Rona has brought into everyone's lives, it has been a little refreshing having a break from the Marvel gluttony session. It kind of feels like that neighbour who's constantly playing music and vacuuming buggered off for a year, leaving you with a little bit of peace and quiet. But that solace was never going to last, and as we approach the end of this arduous pandemic, the Disney machine is coughing back into life with more products, merchandise, fast food deals, streaming platforms, yada yada yada. But this time round, is it just me, or do things feel a little different? Let me explain. The lack of new content from the Marvel realm hasn't dissipated fans' attention like it very well could have. If anything, it's strengthened it. I'd liken it to a 100-strong pack of jonesing smack addicts desperately trying to heat their spoons using one single Bic lighter. The difference we're seeing now is people starved of their superhero heroine are shooting up and not getting their fix. This is evident in the lukewarm reception to the WandaVision finale, where due to this mentality, expectations were so high, there was little to no chance that it could progress to a satisfactory conclusion. I find this all very interesting because it bears many similarities to another Disney-acquired property that was subsequently run into the ground. When The Force Awakens trailer dropped, the whole planet lost their collective minds, made a beeline for the keyboards and began dissecting every image frame by frame, trying to gain some sort of insight into the franchise rejuvenation. Fans had been deprived so long they became a rabid recess of culture embodied in a sea of reactionary videos and film theories so stupid they'd make the Republican Party look intelligent. It turned out that all Disney had in store for us was a soft reboot of A New Hope, but the bar was already set so very low by the previous Star Wars entry, there was little to no chance of failing, and the fans ate it up. Disney knew they couldn't get away with a rehash twice, so the second time round they went something entirely different. On paper, it makes sense. In reality, this cinematic shitstain was the result. By the time the third movie came around, the damage Rian Johnson had done was far too extensive for a more safe course correction to salvage, near enough killing the Star Wars film franchise in its tracks. The reason for this shambolic crapfest seems to be an impossible equation juggling fan expectations, producer input, and trending social issues, creating a hot mess of gargantuan proportions. And this could very well be the direction that Marvel is heading. So far, Marvel has catered to its fanbase with astute precision, and with a wealth of graphic novella to adapt, they have no shortage of material. But that abundance of material could prove to be a hindrance in future projects, as in many cases the source material is in fact feeding the growing expectations for better, stranger, deeper, more exciting content. This is where the WandaVision finale fell flat for much of the fanbase. It started out with an interesting new spin on the Marvel formula, utilising intertextual aspects and even with a bit of meta-commentary, but it eventually devolved into a bunch of superpowered people flying around shooting energy beams at each other. A scenario that has been regurgitated so many times across so many franchises is nauseating. To a producer, again, on paper that's what's worked in the past, so let's give the public what they want. People are now looking to so many different avenues of the vast back catalogue Marvel has to offer. They're inferring and predicting plot points and subject matter that could never be a part of the series. This all comes from the fact that the public that Disney are trying to appeal to, that dream demographic they've been collecting over the past decade, have spent the last year of their lives stuck indoors, eagerly anticipating new Marvel Universal developments. Not unlike the Star Wars fans awaiting The Force Awakens release date. Disney can't get away with the soft reboot this time though, and it seems like they're beginning to learn that now, and giving the strong impression that you're going a new and interesting way with the franchise, only to have that direction devolve into the same played out crap you've been churning out for years, only serves as making Marvel seem disingenuous. And for the record, I do enjoy Marvel films when they're doing something different, whether that's an espionage-style thriller with the Winter Soldier or the rampant comedy of Thor Ragnarok. Keep that up, and ditch this. So could this be the beginning of the decline for Marvel? Because if the trajectory of WandaVision is maintained, this seems likely. Are we in for a massive disappointment with Black Widow? Time will tell, I guess, but until then I'll just have to dream of a world where Marvel Disney products don't dominate the forefront of popular culture.